if you have no idea how to start and design and build an app using AI, and you don't even know where to get started, you just have a fragmented idea in your head, I want to walk you through how I'm using CodeSpring right now live to design a new app for my company. So essentially, I am coming up with an idea. This is CodeSpring, right? And what it does is it allows you to visualize the plan or whatever it is that you're building. And it's so powerful, but so many people don't understand how it works or how to use it properly. So I'm going to walk through how I'm using it right now, and hopefully that'll help you understand how it works and how to actually come up with a better idea and actually make sure that the idea you're building is correct with what you're thinking. So essentially, the way to think about CodeSpring is it's an idea engine. Okay, if you have an idea, it allows you to sort of natter back and forth with AI until eventually you have a rough idea of what you want to build, and then map it out and visually see what is the AI thinking and how well does the AI understand what you are trying to get built. So here we're designing a new software called the CodeSpring Ideas Browser. Okay, first of all, I put in the CodeSpring boilerplate, and then I got it to map out the tech stack of the boilerplate for me. And then all I'm doing is, if you just look here, this long chat thread is just me talking back and forth with the AI, trying to figure out, okay, what do I want it to do? And I'm just listening to it, and it's asking me questions, and I'm responding. And we're just I'm not going to bore you with reading through exactly what it says. If you want, you can pause, and you can see how I'm actually talking to it. And then it's just getting an understanding of how my app actually works, like what I'm trying to build. And then from all of that, all I do is I just say, okay, now can you add that to the mind map for me? So you can see here, these are the core features that the app is going to have. If I scroll back, right, we have various things like obviously user authentication, billing and subscriptions, databases, all of that stuff. That all comes with the CodeSpring boilerplate, right? And then we have other things here like the idea dial. Okay, so the app that we're creating is basically a idea validation tool, and I have designed it in a way where I want to have some sort of central visual with wedges. So you can imagine it like a circle, and it's got like pie-shaped wedges coming out of it, and you can zoom in, you can see focus screens per wedge. So this is one of the features inside the app that I'm designing. Now what I can do is I can actually see here, right, if I do Command K and I do idea dial, I can zoom into this thing here, and you can see it's taking a note on how it thinks the idea dial is going to work. So this is based on the conversation that we've had. So interaction, central circular dial, which has your idea in the center with 6 different wedges. There's demand, community, competitors, monetization, reachability, and ease to build. If you hover over one, it gently enlarges the wedge with one tooltip, and the click spawns a card from that slice, right? So this is kind of correct and kind of not correct. So in this case, for example, when I click it, I don't want it to spawn a card. What I want it to do is actually just sort of remove everything from the screen and then focus in so I can just see a UI for that specific wedge, right? And this won't make any sense because you don't know what I'm trying to build. But this allows me to see how well has the AI understood what I want to have built, right? And the reason this is so valuable is because if I just get the AI to go off and randomly start doing things, and it's going to make mistakes, right? There's a mistake in here that actually I want the AI to improve and make sure it's better. So all I need to do is just edit this, right? And then I can just say, okay, well down here, for example, and we'll make this easier to use, right? But, or actually, you know what I can do is I can click on this, I can add it to context, and I can say, so you've listed an idea on how the idea dial works, and you've said, for example, that when I click on it, it spawns a card from that slice with view details, zooms to a focus mini dashboard for that slice. You kind of got it right and kind of got it wrong. What I want to happen is when I click it, I want it to just remove what's in the canvas at the moment, like the idea dial, and I want it to take me into a focused view of that specific wedge. So I can't see anything else. I'm just working in that area. I can just see the information for that thing that I've clicked on, and I can go back to the idea dial if I want to. Can you update the notes on that? And then I can just send that through. And then what CodeSpring is going to do is it's going to go ahead and update the notes for this, right? I can see that inside my idea dial, it's going to have a different wedge, like demand wedge. So essentially what it's going to look like is if I just go to Miro, for example, actually, you know what I can do? I can actually map this out in here, right? So this is the idea dial, right? So if I just search for idea dial here, right? This is the feature that I'm working on. I can actually now mood board. Actually, I don't want to do a mood board. I want to do a wireframe, right? And then I'm just going to do auto layout. I'm going to delete the mood board. And I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to edit a wireframe. So this is what I want it to actually look like. So imagine this is the app that I'm actually building, okay? There's going to be some sort of canvas like this. And then in the middle, we're going to have some sort of circle, which is going to have in the middle of it I'm going to type some text. I'll put like your idea, okay? I'm going to put that in there. So this is the central thing. And then there's going to be like shapes coming out of it, right? So it's going to have, for example, if we come up to here, and then, actually we don't want to do that. Oops, we want to probably delete that. Oops, hang on. I'll start again. UI wireframe for this thing. Auto layout. Edit wireframe. And I'm going to draw the canvas here. And I know this video is going to be boring for a lot of people to watch, but this kind of shows you like, and this is the thing, is that I love CodeSpring, but I think a lot of people don't understand how to actually use it and why they need to use it, which is why I'm making this content. It'll probably get absolutely no views, but I don't know. I think it's useful for people to see how I use it. So this is your idea. This is all I'm doing right now is I'm drawing a wireframe of how I want my app to look. This is just, it's useful for me to demonstrate to you, and it's also useful for the AI to understand how to actually create the UI, right? So imagine you have like different wedges like this, okay? And then you have like that. Obviously, I'm just sketching this out, right? And then in these wedges, I should probably actually do it like this, right? We have, let's do it like this, right? So we're going to have a bigger circle. Okay, and then all we're going to do is we're going to have different wedges. Let's do stroke width as smaller. Let me pause this, I'll come back. So this is the idea dial, okay? And this is kind of what I want it to look like when you log in. So you'll have, like, this is your idea, and then you'll have things like, I don't know, demand, you'll have competitors, for example, in here, and then all of this information is basically showing up for you visually, right? So I can go ahead and I can save and close, and we need to make that a little bit easier to use, I think. And it's just going to put that there and save and close. So now I know what the idea dial is going to look like. I can then have, right, this, for example, the demand wedge, I can just do demand, wedge. And actually what I can do is I can click this, I can do add to context here, and I could say, okay, so we've got the idea dial feature, and what I want to do is inside it we have sub-features and then demand wedge. I just added a bridge node for that called demand wedge. Can you just add some notes into it on how that demand wedge, what's going to happen when I click on that demand wedge, what's it going to see, how's it going to work, and then if you need to add any sub-features to that demand wedge sub-feature, then you can go ahead and do that. I just want to see visually what you think that is going to do. And then it's going to go ahead and figure it out. Also, I forgot to save, so yeah, make sure you're always saving. We've got keyboard shortcuts down here, and you can save with that. So we also have like community signals wedge, competitors and alternatives wedge. So if I do like this, for example, I can see how competitor profiles work. Right. So these are essentially, we've got, if we do competitor, we've got competitor profiles and pricing. So this here is like child features of competitor profiles and pricing. Okay, so this is a whole feature that explains how it's going to do competitor research. So pricing extraction, so it's going to scrape and find their pricing pages, look for likes and dislikes. It'll have a look at G2 reviews, for example. And this just allows me to figure out that, you know, what is the AI doing? So here you go, right? Demand wedge. It's taking, so this here, right, it's linking the features together. So we know here, right, we're trying to build this idea dial. Okay, that thing there is the demand wedge. This is part of my app. This is the feature that I'm trying to build. And then it has created an entire feature, right, for, if I do demand wedge, right? And now it's taken all the notes on how demand wedge is actually going to work. So what you see is a full screen demand dashboard, back to dial header. So there's a button so you can go back. 0 to 100 score confidence. It's going to give you 12 months spark line for bundled keyword sets. It's going to give you information on keywords. It's going to use data for SEO to do the keyword research. And you know, now I have an understanding of what the AI thinks it should be building. It then allows me to continue developing the idea and make sure everything's locked in. So imagine if you have all of this, right? You have your full map of whatever it is that you're building. You go through all of your features and you add as much detail and context as you possibly need or can, and then once you've got all that done, you can just give it directly to Codex and do /goal, and it will build the whole thing for you. So for example, right now, if I just say, if I come over to, let me just come to Codex, right, and I will create a brand new chat. And I'll say, inside CodeSpring, I have a thing called CodeSpring Ideas Browser, a new project I'm working on. What's the feature going to be? How does it work? Oop. Hello? Okay, I don't know why my voice recorder's not working. Inside CodeSpring, how can you have a look at the CodeSpring Ideas browser? Right, and now Codex or whatever AI agent you use to build can actually read these plans. So, I mean, this isn't done yet, but if I wanted to, I could then get Codex to continue adding to my plan. And then I can create like tasks for the AI to build. You can see in the background, right, as I've been talking to this, CodeSpring's been creating documentation on requirements on how I want the app to work. So for example, it's got various requirements on like functionality, and it's just tracking everything and making sure. So it's essentially what this is if you don't know how to build your idea, you don't know how to build your app, you have a rough idea, you can map the entire thing out inside CodeSpring, and you could spend as much time on it as you want. And in fact, we recommend that you spend as much time on this as you want. It gives you the ability to go in and see how all of these things work, and it means it always has context and information on what your idea is. So then once you've got all of this ready, you could just create a list of Kanban tasks and then just go to any AI you want, and then it will just tick off the tasks and build your app for you. And the most important thing is spending the time designing and planning your app. So you can see here, it's currently looking through CodeSpring's workspaces. It's going to find, okay, here we go. It's going to try and find the actual product. I'll pause and I'll come back once this is done. So for example, it said, right, it's called the idea browser. I've checked the local strategy note, okay, user enters their own app idea. The app clarifies what it is, who it's for. Query Planner turns that into smart search angles. It scans lightweight sources like Hacker News, Product Hunt, GitHub, and data for SEO. So now, essentially, everything that we have in here is now readable by any AI. So once you've created your plan, and you can do this as much as you want, so you could come in here and you could click on this, and you could add a to-do list to it if you wanted to, right? Auto layout, and then you could manually type in various to-do lists. And then you could then, like the AI then knows what to do and how to build it, and then it'll convert it into buildable plans for the AI to follow. So it allows you to get what's going on in your head down on a piece of paper, and then the AI can take that information and say, okay, cool, let's go ahead and build it now. It knows how to build it based off what you have put in there. So I don't know. I think this video is going to get no views at all. Nobody will probably watch this, but for those of you who are watching it, hopefully it does help you understand a little bit more about what CodeSpring does and how it can help you and how I'm actually using it day to day. If you would like to grab CodeSpring, all you need to do is go to the link in the description and you can choose your plan. We have a starter plan, we have a monthly plan, and we have a business plan. I recommend you go for the starter plan. You're going to get a lot more usage than you would if you're on the, you go for the pro plan, because you're going to get 10,000 credits, and you can do 30 different projects. You get access to creating Kanbans, importing codebases, and then also connecting it to an AI agent so you can actually start building. If you're on the starter plan, you're just going to have a rough idea of what your idea is, but you're not going to be able to get any AI to build from it. And then obviously the business plan, if you're building like a much more complicated app like I'm designing here, you want to be on the business plan just because you get a lot more usage. You can design as many features as you want. You get a team workspace plus WhatsApp support with us as well, and the ability to book in on one-on-one calls if you need support and help. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. I think it's a very, very cool app. I love it.